Chelsea grabbed a draw against Arsenal and Konate should have been sent off. Welcome to the corner flag. I'm Amog.
And I'm Mukesh.
Oh, welcome to yet another episode of the corner flag. Welcome to the show, Mukesh. Good to have you. What do you have to say about the red card that should have been given but wasn't given? I'm going to go straight into it. Fuck the run order.
To whom?
To Konate, dude.
I have no idea. I have no idea what it is.
सब लोग बोला है even from the Liverpool side सब लोग बोला it should have been.
Even Klopp said. I think I was lucky. No, he was good. So it's good now. This is what it feels like.
Yes, and we'll get to that. Okay, let's go back to the run order that we have so meticulously created for this podcast. And Liverpool versus Everton is second on the run order, but we start with the London derby. We start with Chelsea 2, Arsenal 2. Now this could have been a great result for Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, a very, very wet, rainy Stamford Bridge. And Chelsea found themselves 2 goals up through some weird act of God. Chelsea found themselves 2 goals up over Arsenal.
So the first question is obviously, I know we're going to talk about if it should have been a penalty in the first place.
Yeah.
Right? But can we just get to Mudrik's goal?
Yes.
Do you think it was intentional or unintentional?
Fuck not. It was absolutely not intentional. If that was intentional, if he actually meant to do it, then I also actually meant to play for Manchester United.
Which is true. Didn't you go through a phase where you were like, I'll play for Manchester United?
I have always been a realist. I have always known that I am never going to be able to play for Manchester United. I have never been that good, and I know that. So I have supported the club, but I have never felt कि हाँ मेरे को खेलने का इन लोग के लिए. नहीं. उतना delusional नहीं है मैं.
No, there is a part of me, I was rewatching the footage, right? Because first of all, I thought it was hilarious that the commentator said he's going to try and convince the world that it's his. And I'm like, oh my God, that's straight up me.
That is like, straight
you can't
up
decide because you can't decide intention.
Yeah.
Like if it's a deflection, you can call it a deflection, right?
Yeah.
But you can't decide intention for a player. Like a player could also plan a deflection, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying it's true, but Sandro, that was damn mean, but damn funny.
Yeah. The thing is...
but there's a part of me that thinks, he looked up, he saw that Raya was up ahead and then...
No, because if you see it from the reverse angle, when he's looking up, he's not looking at the goal. He's looking at the people in the box that he can cross to. So he looks up, he looks at the people in the box and then looks down and plays the cross. Now the thing is, it's such a bad cross, coupled with the fact that David Raya's positioning is so terrible.
No, okay, can I be very honest? His positioning isn't terrible for a cross, which is what it was supposed to be. If it was supposed to be a cross, he was great. He was in a good position because he's cut his distance by 2-3 meters.
Yeah.
He gets it at least half a second earlier, which means whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I think Mudryk did Vedic maths and
4D chess.
Yeah.
But the guy is living in the year 3024. No, but I feel like let's talk about Raya, because I think overall the fact that the game ended 2-2, the fact that Chelsea lost a 2-goal lead and Arsenal let 2 goals in just shows how bad the goalkeepers were on the night. And I think both Robert Sanchez and David Raya had nights to absolutely forget.
Yeah, both goalkeepers were atrocious. Both goalkeepers should have been punished even more, I think.
Yeah. There was that miss pass by David Raya that Cole Palmer should have scored from. But it was just...
And there were a lot of moments where there were bad positioning. There were headers that players were getting to that they shouldn't have gotten to. They were at some point... Forgot now because both of them played so badly. I think I'm confusing the two. But
and they're both Spanish.
But I think Sanchez, he just charged out with a fist. He just charged out with a fist.
Yeah. And he clattered into Gabriel Jesus, and that was again a decision that should have been reviewed.
Yeah, that felt like a pretty hey, that should have been a penalty.
Yeah, but the thing is, and I'm going to get my Man United bias in here. The number of times that people in the media and people just in general on social media talk about how Andre Onana should have been sent off in the first game week for clattering into Matt Doherty against Wolves. People still talk about that. Nobody's going to talk about Robert Sanchez's tackle that much. Nobody is. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
When you're a big club like Man United, and these are the only small joys that we get as United fans in situations like these.
You know it's a big club, but it gives you small joys.
Absolutely. While David Raya's mispass was not punished, Robert Sanchez's mispass was punished by Declan Rice, who got the first goal back for Arsenal. Again, it just seemed like both goalkeepers completely lacked the focus. They were not thinking about what they're doing in the moment. They were thinking of what they're going to do next. And we always, again, I'm not at all comparing us to Premier League footballers, but fuck it, I am. Fuck it, I am.
Yeah.
That's the thing with every sentence. When you say, oh, I'm actually not doing this, the basic understanding is, yes, you absolutely fucking are. But when we play as well, you've played in goal, I've played in goal, fuck playing in goal, even when you're playing in outfield, there are times when we forget to do the simple things in the moment because we're thinking about what we're going to do next. Once you get the ball, where are you going to pass it to? And while thinking about that, you completely forget how to trap the ball. And that's, I think, exactly what was happening to both Sanchez and Raya in this one.
I think they would. I don't know. Okay, here's my issue. I think the reason I feel like every player was making a mistake, especially Arsenal players, I don't know if they were extra nervous or if they were not prepared for a rainy game. I don't know. Did you feel like that? Did you feel like maybe that's why there were more errors from both keepers? Because, I mean, maybe the keepers' errors showed up a lot more.
Yeah.
But I did feel like I don't think both teams prepared for a rainy game, which seems absurd.
Absolutely.
You're in England.
Yeah, exactly.
You're in England. Why would you not be prepared for a rainy game? Teams looked absolutely confused by rain. I think maybe they weren't able to gauge the bounce of the ball a lot of times. They weren't able to gauge the weight of their passes. Goalkeepers though, for sure.
Yeah.
They weren't, there were so many missed passes. And I think a lot of that came down to just not being prepared for a rainy day. In fact, the only person who I thought felt like properly accounted for it was probably Declan Rice, which also explained how he got that goal in.
Yeah.
And also probably because he's played on rainy days at Stoke.
Yeah.
Maybe he's probably the only player in that bunch who's probably played.
I mean, he's never played for Stoke, but...
No, but he's played at Stoke. Probably. I don't even know. But yeah, I thought it was weird. Even now in hindsight, if you look at Modric's cough, I just feel like maybe the boot slipped on it a little bit and gave it an extra something, right?
Yeah.
Even the misplaced pass, it was just the weight, how much power you put into the pass was miscalculated because every pass just felt weaker, every header just felt weaker or more uncontrolled. So I thought that was a little absurd.
But again, like you said, it's atrocious that elite level footballers who are playing for elite level teams like Chelsea and Arsenal are unable to deal with rain. That is just, I think that's inexcusable. And I feel like...
Yeah, I know it is. Absolutely.
You think at this point, and I don't know so much about Chelsea, but at least with Arsenal, do you think Arteta's made, and we've spoken about this, but do you think that Arteta's made a mistake by getting Raya in and benching Ramsdale for 4-5 matches in a row and making it clear that Raya is his number one goalkeeper? Ramsdale, of course, was not even in the squad for the Chelsea game, and that was because of personal reasons. He became a father this weekend. So, I mean, fair enough. Congratulations to him and all of that. But I feel like watching this game, because I'm sure Aaron Ramsdale was watching the game while his son or his daughter was being born. You think he's going to feel a little bit let down that fucking...
I think he's going to be asking, what is this? I mean, see...
उसमें क्या है जो मुझ में नहीं है?
Passes, saves, short stopping.
But again, we saw all of that not work out for Raya. His passing was not great. His shot stopping was very shaky.
I know, but maybe it's an exceptional game. But yeah, it was terrible. I think it was both goalkeepers made the... In fact, I feel like on a normal day, on a non-rainy day, an unrainy day, it might have just been a 0-0 because it was such a dull match.
And when it's Arsenal and Chelsea, it's always a dull match. Like it's always, it's always likely to be a 0-0. I think the Rangers added that extra level of jeopardy that brought 4 goals into this game. But yes, let's talk about the penalty though. William Saliba's handball.
Oh, not a penalty, man. I mean,
like
because he was
where is his hand going to go? And it's not even like the ball's directly come at him. It's been headed onto his hand by a Chelsea player.
Yeah.
Like I mean, the thing is, it is getting to a point where talking about VAR, talking about the handball rule, talking about offside is just getting tiring now. Like I'm bored to talk about how bad the officiating is in the Premier League, how inconsistent the officiating is. Because I mean, come on, like I feel like because we are a show that does what it does, we have to talk about every single incident like that, and you know, it would be wrong for us to not talk about it, but it is fucking boring. Like, it is so stupid that is given as a handball when there is no other place where Saliba can put his hand. He's jumping, and that is the natural position for his hand to be when he's making that jump.
He had pretty much 0.01 seconds to react.
He had nothing. I don't even think he had 0.01. I think he had 0 seconds to react. Like there was no margin to react in that situation, because you're jumping and the ball gets headed onto him from like fucking half a yard out. Like it's nothing. And for that to be given a penalty, I feel like Arsenal would be really, really dejected. That was completely a wrong decision. And I'm surprised that VAR didn't overturn it. I'm surprised that a clear and obvious error like that, and we keep hearing about how VAR is all about fixing the clear and obvious errors. What is a clear and obvious error? वो पूछना है मेरे को कि what according to you is clear and obvious? Do you need somebody to fucking stab a player for it to be a clear and obvious error and for it to be a red card?
Yeah, I mean, it's just terrible.
Do you need people to actually catch the ball like goalkeepers to be like, hi, this is a handball, okay? I have handled the ball. It was intentional. My hand was in an unnatural position, and this is a clear and obvious error. Like, how clear and obvious do you want it to be? It is so ridiculous that on the same weekend, you're getting conflicting and inconsistent decisions all throughout the Premier League. And it's just making the whole thing seem damn boring. And the problem, and we've spoken about this problem, is it is even more infuriating because there is VAR. If there was no VAR, you could still take it down to chal referee ka human error hai.
Yeah.
But you have fucking 47 screens in that little tent that you sit in. Use them.
I think because in this case it was also just, it was not a lines drawing error. It was just where will, like, I don't know, like, to me, the fact that this was the error that was made, like, it just drops the bar even lower, because I mean, the reason it's worth even talking about is because how low, like, the bar has just dropped a little lower now. From this thing, because it's like, it's not even you have to draw the lines.
Yeah.
It doesn't require any technology usage. It requires the usage of eyes.
Yeah.
Like, it requires the most bare minimum of things, and I don't know how. I really don't know how else they do it, how they did it, how the referee didn't account for that, even when he got a chance to see it, especially.
Yeah. I mean, let's move on swiftly from that to Liverpool 2-0 Everton, and let's move on to the Konate decision. Now, he was already on a yellow when he stops a counter-attack from Beto by pulling him down. As a Liverpool fan, Mukim, what do you think? Like, shouldn't that... I mean, at the start of the episode, you said, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. But very, very seriously speaking, like that should have been a second yellow for Konate. Van Dijk said so, Klopp said so.
Yeah, I think it was. I think Liverpool was like quite poor. I think Craig Pawson, I think that's the name. So he was a little poor throughout the game. He was poor, and I think he was probably using VR a lot, because, like, you can see that referees are a lot more afraid now. They're expecting VR to bail them out a lot more.
Yeah.
And whatever. It's sad that the one time they could have intervened for Everton, and I'm speaking, oh my God, I can't even believe I'm taking Akash's side. Like, VR could not intervene because I think he didn't even consult it.
Yeah.
He just moved on.
Yeah. But see, now here's the thing, okay? This is what I wanted to point out. Now, Darren England all right. Like last time when we saw that the whole situation go on with Darren England and Liverpool, with the offside goal, with Luis Diaz's offside goal not given when it was clearly onside, and the VAR absolutely cocked up that entire process.
Game.
Darren England has been suspended by the PGMOL for Liverpool matches, where for the rest of the season, Darren England is not going to be associated with any Liverpool game, which I think is a terrible decision.
Yeah, because I was saying, the other teams he can fuck up with.
Yeah, exactly. As a referee, you're supposed to be unbiased, right? You're supposed to be absolutely unbiased, regardless of which team you may or may not support. When you're refereeing a game between two teams, you're completely unbiased. You're following the rules of the game, regardless of what happens. Now, if you're saying that he has made a terrible error, how is he allowed to not officiate only Liverpool games? Like, you're either a bad referee and you should not be officiating any games, or you're a good referee and you should be officiating every game that you are supposed to officiate. Like, it just sets a very, very bad precedent. And
no, I think the logic doesn't make sense. Either it's like you said, either you're a competent referee, or you're not.
Yeah.
You can't be like, you know now what happens in Liverpool matches, he gets a little carried away because he hates the club.
Yeah.
Like that's basically what you're saying. That he can't control himself of a certain team.
Yeah, but if he is actually guilty of not being able to control himself for certain teams because he does not like those certain teams, then fuck it, he should not. He's by that admission, he's not a good referee, and therefore he should not be refereeing any games. He should be suspended full time. Like, he's made a mistake. He should be suspended for all games or for a period of multiple months across all games. Why is there that favoritism towards a club like Liverpool? And again, like this is, and Akash has also said this off air to us, and I think he's sent a question about this as well in our question segment. We'll get to that. But his whole thing is there is so much bias against Everton. And the thing is, it's not just Everton. I feel like there is a certain bias against the smaller teams and a certain bias for the so-called bigger teams throughout. And the problem is, before VAR, referees were allowed to make human errors, as they should be, because they are human after all, and it's very tough to referee a game in real time when you don't have all the angles, when you don't have all the eyes that you need, you don't have the slow-mo replays, and you have to catch a play in the blink of an eye and then make your decision about what you saw in a millisecond. Like, it is extremely, extremely difficult. It's ridiculously high stakes. And yes, human error is allowed. But when you have technology to help you, get it fucking right.
Yeah, and there's no excuse anymore. I mean, I've said this multiple times, and I know it is a thing that went in favor. But again, like I said, 3 weeks ago, I knew how bad it felt when it changed the match, because I think this happened when I think it was still 0-0.
Yeah.
And Everton were a man down, so it would have at least been 0-0 with 10 players.
With 10 players each, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and Everton were playing really well till the Ashley Young red card. Like, they were holding out really well. They could have come away with a point.
Yeah, I actually thought Everton played better once Ashley Young went off, because then they had a clear purpose.
Yeah.
Which is just hold on.
Yeah.
If there's a goal that happens, then that's great. Otherwise, we are playing just for a point. And they were playing, I think a 5-4-1 became just a 5-4.
Yeah.
Like, it was I think DCL was also pulled back. And they were just locked up, and that's it. And fair enough. And I think fair play to them that was the strategy, and it worked. And Sean Dyche is a master of, I think, getting a point.
Yeah.
I think you would trust him to get away point from any team compared to most managers.
Yeah.
Right? So I think I do feel bad for Everton, because also a 10v10 at Liverpool on the derby would have been a lot more exciting to watch, because I do think actually Liverpool would have won the match.
Yeah.
Because honestly, Liverpool probably have more experience playing that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it makes, the way I feel is, it makes a win controversial.
Yeah.
Or what would have been a short win, because I think somehow, because by 75th minute, Everton would have run out of steam.
Yeah.
Like, I think Ashley Young was given 2 red cards because, I don't know if you noticed, after the first yellow, I'm not sure if you saw the match, after the first yellow, there's a point where he was the last man and he made a sprint to stop an attack.
Yeah.
And he was clutching on to the goalpost and cramping. And this was like, I think, early on, maybe like in the first 20 minutes. Right? And that's when you knew that he's going to lunge. He's going to go for it. Because he's too exhausted. He's so tired.
Yeah.
So I think similarly, Everton players would have been run ragged by the 75th to 80th minute.
Yeah.
Right? And so, I think it was a win that was going to be Liverpool's anyway. It didn't have to be like this.
Yeah.
And sadly, I guess it is sad that it got defined by what it got defined by.
Yeah, I mean, I feel really annoyed at Ashley Young because ex-United player, and I mean, we both saw Akarsh's frustration with Ashley Young on the WhatsApp group. For a man who's 38, there's two things wrong here. Like, you're 38, you've played for Man United, you've played for Watford, you've played for like Aston Villa, you've been around in the Premier League for long enough. You've played with some great players in your life. You've played in the Champions League. You need to have a little more composure and experience when dealing with these things. You can't go lunging and making those silly tackles. Both his tackles, both the bookable offenses were terrible. Like, they were so easily avoidable. It was ridiculous that he made those tackles and put his team in that disadvantageous position 37 minutes into the game. Second thing is, he's 38 years old. What the fuck is he doing playing against Luis Diaz on that day?
Thank you. Exactly. I thought it was Sean Dyche's mistake.
Fully.
In that you get him on when it's 0-0 or 1-0 to Everton in the 60th minute.
Yeah.
You don't start him.
Yeah.
I know it's what Liverpool did with Milner. It's what Brighton is doing with Milner. It's probably what United are going to have to do with Casemiro from now on at some point.
Yeah.
That you bring them on at the 60th minute.
Yeah.
Your academy players and your experienced players, you bring them on into the game when you want to
see a result out.
See a result out.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever it is. I don't know, especially in that sort of a defensive role, and it was a liability straight up. So I do feel like Sean Dyche is not getting enough. I know because so much went against him. I feel like Sean Dyche is not getting enough flack for starting
Ashley Young.
Starting Ashley Young, because also the thing is, Luis Diaz is also, as fast as he is, he's also a weak player. So you don't need the strongest player for him. You just need someone who can keep up with him.
Yeah.
A younger talent would have done.
Yeah.
A younger talent against Mohamed Salah, I understand you want to put your best man and that takes into more variables. But against Luis Diaz, if you get a guy who's as fast as him, there's a good chance that your guy is probably bigger than him and can easily outmuscle him.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a very poor call to put Ashley Young on that side. And you set Ashley Young up for failure.
Yeah.
Because what's he going to do? He's not going to let the guy outrun him. That looks even worse. It looks like he's whatever. At least now he looks like a heroic tackle.
No, at no point does it look like a heroic tackle. The final talking point of this game was, of course, what Michael Keane did to give Salah the penalty. I mean, if that should be the dictionary definition of a handball.
Yeah. I don't believe they took that also
to VAR.
To VAR. I was like, what are you saying, man? I don't know. I know. Look.
I think
what are you saying?
Chris Boston should be suspended just because he took that to VAR. They should be
it's like how they say Al Capone got suspended for accounting of all things. Not the drugs, not the alcohol, but the accounting.
Yeah.
This Greg Boston should get fucked for that.
Yeah.
How can you take that fucking I mean, that's just a waste of time giving everybody in 2 minutes rest.
Yeah. And they did 3-4 replays of it just to see how clear do you want to be. Itna time Konate ke foul pe karo yaar. Itna time Romero ke handballs pe karo. Itna time Luis Diaz ke offside pe karo. Barabar communicate karo. Ye itna clear hai. Why do you need 3 replays of it? Should just be like that. It should have been a game. Everybody in the VR room should have been blindfolded. Even blindfolded should be like, it's a fucking handball.
Yeah.
It is so clear.
And it's I don't know what Keane was thinking.
There was
it really was.
I'll tell you what happened. Michael Keane is a player from my school team, because when I played for my school, one of my defenders, we were playing against a team called Salvation. One of my defenders, we held them for 0-0 till the end of the game. Last 10 minutes, somebody takes a shot from outside the box. One of my defenders in the penalty box holds his hands up and touches the ball.
Oh,
and
was that you?
No, that wasn't me. They got a penalty and they scored and they won 1-0. That is Michael Keane. He just put his arm out saying, "Arey shit yaar, ball bahar ja raha tha, I was trying to stop it." It is so stupid. It is so amateur It is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Right, let's go to City 2, Brighton 1. Julian Alvarez and Erling Haaland scored for Manchester City before Ansu Fati got one back for Brighton. But the big thing about this game that I want to talk about is that it looks like finally Calvin Phillips is going to leave Manchester City.
Yeah, I think this winter he's out. The rumors that he's probably going to come to Liverpool, but
what? I have not seen any rumors.
Oh, really?
Linking him to Liverpool. I have only the most credible rumors are Calvin Phillips is linked to Bayern Munich and Newcastle. Those are the two credible rumors. Liverpool is nowhere in the question.
Okay, in the Liverpool section of the gossip, Calvin Phillips has been like, well, either way, I mean, I think it's good for him. I want him to leave, and I hope.
Between Bayern Munich and Newcastle, where do you think he should go?
I think he should go to Bayern Munich.
Why?
Because one, at Newcastle, I feel like it's the same place. I feel like the Bayern challenge will feel fresher because I feel like for whatever reasons, Calvin Phillips has also been come under pressure. It won't feel new. The challenge won't feel new, and I think it'll be the sort of situation where if he does well, he won't be rewarded as he won't be praised for it. Whereas if he does badly, he's going to be constantly under analysis. I think he needs some time away, probably from limelight.
I feel
if he does well in Bayern, then he gets the positive limelight. Whereas if he doesn't do well, it doesn't really affect him. Whereas in England, it's the opposite.
I feel like if he goes to Bayern Munich, he's going to be completely isolated over there anyway. Because I don't think he's good enough to get into the Bayern Munich starting 11. He's going to be used as a substitute for most of the season. At Newcastle, however, he gets to be a part of an exciting new project under Eddie Howe. They're playing really well. They're playing in the Champions League, so he gets Champions League minutes as well. He can definitely slot straight into that starting 11. Takes the pressure off Bruno Guimaraes and Joe Linton. You get to see both of those players go slightly forward while Calvin Phillips stays back to hold that defensive midfield role. And I feel like he is a good player who is a definite starter for Newcastle United. And considering the Euros are coming up in 2024, I feel like the more minutes he gets, the better it is for his chances to go and actually feature for England at the Euros.
Of course, I feel like he probably gets minutes even at Bayern. Maybe obviously not as many, definitely as at Newcastle. For me, it's the external factors that sort of dictate. Which is the media attention and all of that. Because I feel like in Bayern, just being away from this sort of hype and blah will probably just.
But there's barely any hype about it.
And he can always.
There's barely any hype. No, there's nothing. There's nothing because he's not featured only for Man City. He's a forgotten guy.
Like, what are the options, right? If he does well at Newcastle, people are going to be like, he's a player. He wasn't good enough. If he does well, the narrative is going to be he wasn't good enough for Man City, which is a super thing. If he does badly, it's like, see, Pep Guardiola was right. Whereas if he goes to Bayern, if he does badly, no one's going to think about him. Whereas if he does well, it's like, oh, our boy is doing well there.
But our boy doing well there is always going to be overshadowed by Harry Kane, who is doing well there. And Calvin Phillips and Harry Kane are in two complete different leagues. Calvin Phillips is not one of the more glamorous players in that English team. Right? The media is going to be interested in a Phil Foden. They're going to be interested in a Raheem Sterling. They're going to be interested in Jack Grealish, Marcus Rashford, these players. They're not going to be interested in what Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips have to do. Right? And Declan Rice is still way more important than midfield. Jude Bellingham is the most important player in that midfield. Calvin Phillips is the third most important, if at all. Right? So the media attention is not a problem at all, I feel. And my only thing is if he goes to Newcastle, he stays in England, he stays in the Premier League, which he's used to, although he's out of practice now because he's not been playing. And I feel like Newcastle also suits his game, whatever that may be, because we haven't seen it in a while. So I don't know what his game actually is. But yes, right. On that note, let's take a quick break. On the other side, we'll take your questions. We'll talk about Man United's victory over Sheffield. And we'll talk about Aston Villa and Newcastle and Sandro Tonali as well. See you on the other side. Welcome back to the Corner Flag, everybody. And as always, we have your questions. Questions with the Corner Flag.
Dude, answers also, huh?
You have a bunch of questions, actually.
Yeah. You're
Oh,
surprised.
wow. Yeah, because you said we have only one question.
No, I
Um,
never said that.
Okay, so first question is from Ashwin_040. It's a new listener, I think.
Welcome, Ashwin. Thanks for writing in.
Thank you. Thanks for writing in. Guys, thoughts on Aston Villa this year? Will they start to decline after Christmas?
I think I'm very, very happy with the way Aston Villa are playing, especially now. They started off a little slow, but Ollie Watkins has also found his way in form now, and they are absolutely cooking. So I don't know if they're going to decline after Christmas. If anything, we might actually see them do better.
I don't know if they'll do better. I definitely I probably expect them to decline in form a little bit, but I think everyone is going to decline in form. And I just feel like Unai Emery probably has a little more experience now to make sure that his decline isn't as strong as the others. A related question from Pranav Gokhale, who asked, what is Ollie Watkins on?
A lot of good form. I think Ollie Watkins, I think, has a point to prove to Gareth Southgate. I think he has made sure.
What's he on? He's asking which drug is he specifically on.
I don't think. I think he's just on the adrenaline from playing for England, because he did play for England against Australia. He scored for England against Australia, and I feel like, when a tiger tastes blood for the first time.
Amog, क्या mass hero का elevation दिख रहे हो आप?
Star Sports, Disney Plus, Hotstar. If any commentator roles are free.
Amog is writing एक था tiger or whatever, the next part tiger 4 we are writing.
जब
Tiger versus Pathan.
जब शेर को खून मिलता है, तो I don't know. No, but I feel very, very seriously speaking, I feel like he's got that experience at England. He started for England, he scored for England, and I feel like with the Euros coming up, he has a point to prove, and he's just like, man, I am going to make Gareth Southgate be so sure about picking me. Like, I'm not going to give him an option. I'm going to play so well. And I think that is the thing that's driving him. And it's great to see. It's great to see. Get him in your FPL, guys.
Put him in your FPL. It's a good time to be. We have the most interesting question yet from Noobs Clicks, who says Mumbai versus Hyderabad prediction.
Mumbai to win.
10-0 to Hyderabad. Hyderabad to win. I actually feel like Hyderabad will win this game.
Come to the stadium with me. Let's watch the match together.
I want to come watch the match.
Yeah, come.
I'm just scared of wearing the Hyderabad jersey.
Don't wear the Hyderabad jersey.
I'll be like, no, I work for a Kali company. I work for a taxi cab company.
No, come. Yellow, I think you should come to the arena with me. We'll watch the game together. We'll do a match day vlog also together. We did the Kerala Blasters match day vlog, which was really nice on our YouTube channel, which is @cornerflagpod on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button now. We'll do a match day vlog for Hyderabad FC as well. It'll be great fun.
Done. Harnish Nathwani, I think again a new listener. So
no, he's written in before.
Sorry, Harnish. I'm new to this podcast.
Mukesh doesn't pay attention to you, Harnish.
Harnish.
Harnish,
well
okay.
Which commentator do you wish is there for all your team matches?
So obviously the answer is going to be Peter Drury, right? Because everybody loves Peter Drury.
No, forget that. Okay, think of someone like non-football related, like someone else. Like Javed Jaffrey or something like that.
I would love to see Javed Jaffrey fucking commentate on my team's football games, man.
Yeah.
Fucking Takeshi's Castle for the win.
Yeah.
I think he'll be fantastic.
Here's my dream commentator box. I'm going to give 3 names.
Okay.
Javed Jaffrey. Peter Drury. I don't know. Okay, that doesn't make sense, right? Because I don't know what language they're communicating in.
Yeah.
Shit, it could be that. Maybe they can take half-an-hour stretches. So actually, no, these two. I think these two for now. That's mine. What is yours?
I think
the best.
I think I'm going to go for Ali McCoist as the football commentator, because I just love his Scottish accent. Great commentator, and especially when Scotland is playing, he is so passionate. Or when like any of the Scottish teams are playing, he's so passionate. And the Scottish accent is just great to listen to. So Ali McCoist definitely as the football commentator. And I'd love to see either Cyrus Brocha or Danish Seth there. And like,
Yeah, that's fun.
okay, either Cyrus Brocha, Danish Seth, or Jose. One of the three.
Yeah. True.
With Ali McCoist, I think would be a killer fucking commentary box combination.
Yeah, that's great. That's a good answer. Now, Dark Horse Coolers 5 asks us, give your prediction for this UCL season.
I feel I don't want to say City are going to win it back to back, because that's one UCL record that has not been made. I don't think anybody has won the UCL back to back.
What are you saying? Real Madrid won 3 in a row.
Real Madrid did win 3 in a row.
Won 3 in a row. It was a 3-peat.
I'm sorry, man. United weren't playing in the Champions League, so I wasn't paying attention. No, I feel like Real Madrid or Bayern Munich, man. I would like to see Bayern Munich to win.
Munich versus City. I do feel like it's going to be a Munich versus City final.
Yeah, but I'd love to see Kane win it with Bayern. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I would love to see. Because I think even when Tottenham lost to Liverpool, the only sad part of it was that Kane or someone of Kane's caliber couldn't get a medal, and I hope that changes.
Yeah.
There's a new listener called Akash Chandan who asks.
Thank you for writing in, man. We hope you like the podcast.
Yeah, we hope you like the podcast.
Come on the episode sometimes, Chooth.
Yeah, he asks us, should Konate have gotten a second yellow, or are you as biased as the refs?
Are you as biased as the refs, Mookie?
I am as biased as the refs. Sadly. And I accept what the decision that they gave, which is that he didn't get the yellow card.
Yeah. Fun.
And then we have one last question. It's a slightly serious question from Farhan.not.bahar, who asks, I know this isn't a political podcast, but what's your take on the stance that Liverpool fans took? And Farhan is referring to the banner or the T4, I don't know what you call it, that read, for God's sake, please save Gaza. Or for God's sake, save Gaza. There was no please at all.
You go for it, man. As a Liverpool fan, you go first.
Yeah, which is some fans showing their support for Palestine. I mean, I think it's... I do think I'm glad people are standing up for Gaza. I'm glad there is at least a section of Liverpool fans who vocally taken up a stance for Gaza. I think whichever side of the political spectrum you fall on, you can't deny that people of Gaza require humanitarian aid.
Yeah.
And it's sad that it didn't get televised on the match. They were just snapshots of it that were taken up.
No, it's
posted on social media.
I mean,
I understand why, because of course they're never going to show such a political message that goes against because clearly Rishi Sunak also and India, of course, have taken Israel's side.
Yeah, but that's the thing, no? Like, on one hand, when the Manchester City players come out with the Ukraine flags when Russia invades Ukraine and the war in Ukraine is happening and they're taking sides and they're supporting Ukraine, that is also a political message which is broadcast, which everything is fine because that's what the Western world thinks is great. It aligns with their thoughts of what is politically correct. Whereas this is not. So I mean, it just sucks that there is that discrimination, and good on the Liverpool fans for taking a stand, and it sucks that the Premier League didn't.
I think even before the game, I think 2 days before the game, Sarah put out a video asking for humanitarian aid for Gaza from all the citizens of the world and the leaders of the world.
Yeah.
So I think there's a very clear sign. I'm proud of it. I think it's the correct thing.
Yeah.
I think in this podcast. Thanks for that.
Yeah. You forgot one question, by the way. Dark Horse Coolers 5 has one more question.
I was going to get to that.
Oh, okay. Because you said last question.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yes, one question. Do you think the Maguire and Evans duo is working great at the back for United? Why don't you take this question? Because this seems like a more dangerous question to answer.
No, I think it is. Maguire and Evans have looked solid. It's crazy, but they have, and credit where it's due. Maguire was absolutely fucking solid against Sheffield. And
he won the man of the match, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, and Ten Hag has also said that he is dominating, so that's great. I'm here for that comeback story. And you laughed at me when you said I said that it's a comeback story for the ages, and you laughed at me, but I'm being proven right.
You're being proven right.
Yeah. So let's go into Sheffield 1, United 2. Again, it was a very slow start by Man United, but just through sheer individual brilliance, we managed to come away with 3 points. Of course, at a time when the club is mourning the loss of Sir Bobby Charlton as well. absolute legend of the game, legend of English football, legend of Manchester United. Of course, he's somebody who was not from our era, so it's not like any of us actually saw him play. But as a United fan, when you hear stories about him being on the plane that crashed in Munich, and he was one of the few survivors, along with the then manager of the club, Matt Busby, like it's amazing to see that he saw his colleagues, his friends, his teammates die in a plane crash that he survived in, and he came back and he played and he built Man United back up from scratch and created what United is right now, and I think that's ridiculously inspiring and just oof. He's an absolute legend of the game. It's a very sad time for the club. And Scott McTominay scoring the opening goal, being the pride of Man United as an academy graduate, I think was just fucking perfect. Then he goes on to give the penalty away with a handball, which was again the correct decision. So United just love making things hard for themselves. But that Diego Dalot goal, Mookie, goal of the season?
There was, easily. Even the commentator seemed surprised that it came from Diego Dalot, so I thought that was great. But I think for now it seems like, I can't remember, suddenly weirdly now that you mention it, I can't think of other contenders, but I think for now
Mikhailo Mudryk. Mudryk versus Arsenal.
Mikhailo Mudryk, that's the goal of the season, actually.
That's the cross of the season.
That's the goal of the season. And the cross of the season, I guess.
Both together. But yeah, I mean, Eric Ten Hag is like I was saying, he said that Maguire is dominating as the centre half, and I'm just here for it. I'm very happy to see Maguire do well. I hope it continues.
What do you think of? I mean, we'll get to that when we talk about that. What do you think about Amrabat's game?
I think he was good in the Sheffield game. I think he was really, really good. The fact that he's playing in his actual position really, really helped. And he got better as the game progressed. I felt he's going to be a very important player for Man United, for sure.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions about Manchester United that you want to ask me, or is that it?
No, that's it.
All right, cool. Let's quickly go before we end the show to Newcastle 4, Palace 0. A comprehensive victory for Newcastle. 4 different scorers. Newcastle are going from strength to strength in the Premier League. This is where they find themselves in the table right now. They find themselves in 6th place with 9 games played. So going well. They're picking up a good run of form. But the big news here was that Sandro Tonali was made to give the lap of honor around St. James's Park. He was at the very forefront of this lap. And Eddie Howe said that it was his idea because he said, Sandro's going through such an emotional time right now. I wanted him to feel the love and the support of our fans up close. I wanted him to know that we are all supporting him, not just the fans, but the management as well. And I'm like, Panchot, उसने betting किया है AC Milan पे जब वो AC Milan के लिए खेल रहा था. Like, it is an offense. Like, I'm glad that you're supporting him and all, but you don't need to be so fucking vocal about it.
This is not some tragic thing.
Yeah.
It's not
उसने गलती किया. Exactly. उसने गलती किया, उसको punishment मिलेगा. That's just the way the world works. Fucking Ivan Toney has been banned for how many? 6 months, 8 months.
Yeah.
For the same offense. And we don't see that sort of love being given to Ivan Toney.
Yeah.
It is so fucking ridiculous that Sandro Tonali gets this.
And weirdly, I'm not even saying Ivan Toney should get the same. I feel like what Ivan Toney got it right is right. That's how it should be. Yeah. So I think Sandro Tonali should. I don't know why they're projecting him as this sort of tragic hero who's been.
Yeah, exactly.
Or he did some sacrifice. I'm like, he did it when he was in Milan. So I'm saying.
And also the whole PR.
If anything, Newcastle got cheated. Like whoever the Milan director of football is, slightly just passed on a player. Yeah. Got the hands clean and done and dusted. Like,
it's so weird. Like I'm just like, I hate the way Ivan Toney's been treated in the media for sure. And that's just because the British media is racist as fuck and Ivan Toney's black. Like, let's be very honest, let's call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
That is basically why. But this is what I just don't get it. Like, even the PR that Sandro Tonali's agent is also doing. He's like, he's got an addiction. It's a problem and he's trying to work through it. I mean, हाँ बेंचो betting किया उसने यार. ये allowed नहीं है.
Yeah, it's not allowed, and it's actually cringy. Like, I don't know, like, I mean, I think weirdly, I feel like a lot of Newcastle fans are also falling for it. I don't know if it's a real thing, but sometimes I feel like there's a need to manufacture emotion, and I feel like this feels very manufactured.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not the moment that you think it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or that
Exactly.
you're trying to tell us it is. It's
Yeah.
clearly not that. And if you think it's that, it's a little weird actually.
Yeah. Very, very weird. Fucking weird. Right. On that note, it is time to end this episode. Thank you so much for watching and listening to this episode. If you'd like to get in touch with us and tell us what you thought, you can reach us on our social media. You can find Mukesh on Instagram at,
Mukesh Manjunath.
and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Amograndive.
And that's because his name is Tiger. He's writing great punchlines for Tiger.
Yes. You can also follow the Cornerflag Instagram and Twitter handles @CornerFlagPod. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@CornerFlagPod. Lots of video content up there. Matchday vlogs from Mumbai City FC versus Hyderabad FC will be on the YouTube channel very, very soon after the game on the 28th of October. Shout out to Kezat Gurda for composing our theme tune. And until next week, it is goodbye from us. So say bye, Mukesh.
Bye, guys.
And it's bye from me.